I'm no storyteller, but I have to get this off my chest. I got tickets for a late-night premiere of Evil Dead Rise at this old, grimy theater downtown. You know, one of those places that smells like it's steeped in 100 years of history and stale popcorn. I figured, what's the worst that could happen? Watch a movie, get a bit scared, go home. I was there alone, save for a handful of people sprinkled throughout the place. Everyone seemed ordinary, except for one guy. Older, scraggly beard and wearing a worn-out hat. He sat a few rows in front of me, always glancing back. It was almost as if he was waiting for something. The lights dimmed and the movie started. Classic horror jump scares, eerie music, the whole package. I was engrossed, so much so that I forgot about the guy until the interval. I headed to the restroom, and as I washed my hands, I caught a glimpse of a message scrawled hastily in the mirror's steam. "Don't finish the movie." I chuckled. Probably some kids messing around. Back in the theater, as the second half began, the atmosphere felt denser. There were scenes in the movie that had this old woman chanting something that sounded a lot like folklore from my grandparents' village. The chant seemed to vibrate through the hall, too real, too raw. It was during one of these chanting scenes that I noticed the guy in the hat again. He was now standing at the back, whispering along with the chant. And then, the most disturbing thing, the people around him started mumbling it too, eyes fixed on the screen, like they were in a trance. I felt a pinch in my gut. This wasn't right. I decided to leave. I fumbled with my bag, but as I rose, the chant grew louder, bouncing off the theater walls. I felt disoriented, my feet heavy, like I was trudging through wet cement. Outside, the cold air slapped me back to my senses. My heartbeat echoed in my ears, deafening in the eerie silence of the night. I made it home and double-locked my doors. Collapsing on my couch, I tried to dismiss what I'd experienced as mere movie-induced paranoia. Morning came, and my apprehension melted with the light. That is, until I turned on the news. There were reports of disturbances at the same theater, people chanting, acting out, like they were possessed, and they kept referring to Evil Dead Rise. I felt my stomach sink. Later that evening, I received a call. Unknown number. A raspy voice on the other end recited that same chilling chant. The call ended, and I stared at the screen, trying to convince myself it was a bad joke. Over the next few days, I spotted that man from the theater, on the street, at the grocery store, everywhere. I told myself it was coincidence. But then, strange markings began appearing on my windows, marks that resembled the symbols from the movie. My once safe home now felt like a prison. I reached out to my grandmother, explaining the chant and the symbols. Her voice, always so full of warmth, turned icy. She told me about a local legend, a curse that could be passed through tales or cinema, entrapping its victims. The only way to break free? Confront the carrier. I decided to revisit the theater. It was closed, due to unforeseen disturbances. With desperation mounting, I sought the old man. To my horror, I found him waiting by my car. "You've been marked," he rasped. "It wasn't intentional. I went to watch the movie to escape the curse, but it found its way to you." I felt anger bubbling up. "So what now?" I snapped. "Confront it. Tonight. In your home. Play the movie. Let it come," he replied, almost mournfully. That night, trembling with fear, I did as he said. The same scenes, the same chants. But as the old woman appeared on screen, something shifted. The boundaries between the movie and reality seemed to blur. The chants grew louder, filling my living room. Then the old woman on the screen turned, locking eyes with me. I felt something in me snap. "Enough!" I yelled. The room went silent. The movie paused. Everything felt normal. I slept uneasily, wondering if it was truly over. I haven't seen the old man since. The marks on my windows faded. Life went on. But sometimes, late at night, I hear the faintest echo of that chant, a reminder of the thin line between fiction and reality. If you've read this far, be wary. Sometimes tales don't just stay on the screen. Sometimes they follow you home. And if you ever decide to watch Evil Dead Rise, just remember my story. Some movies aren't meant for everyone. Some movies are gateways.